All right now, Hillary Clinton, candidate for the President of the United States of America. This is Hillary Clinton, who has been called out as she has made promises. If elected, she got our back. She got our back. She promised she got our back. All right. That made me well and all good because they talking. All politicians, including Donald Trump, you will have equal opportunity to tell the truth to Americans. See, America needs to be run by a clean government. The government is corrupt in all branches. You promised to have our back. Well, we need a clean government run. We need you to do what is correct. There's already allegations of criminal acts of what's already been happening. We're not going to go into that. What we're going to go into is to run a clean government. You need to come out and tell the public right now before elected. That way we know that you got our back, because you do it beforehand, not after the fact, because they never do that. You see, President Barack Obama promised before God and the nation that he would do this before and after he took office. You can go and see this on YouTube. Jesha Miller demands President Obama tell the public the entire Judicial Branch is corrupt. Now, he's not came out and told y'all that, but he made a promise to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. What I've done is petition the Constitution's checks and balances. Now, the legislative branch supposed to be making our laws. You can go to government corruption top to bottom. Again, it's me, Jesha Miller, and you will see where I've broken it down that from top to bottom, the entire United States government is corrupt. That is the legislative branch. Now, the judicial branch of government. Once again, it's on YouTube. You can see me again. FBI corruption, oppression, concealing the United States Supreme Court corruption. This is on YouTube. Why it's on YouTube? Because the First Amendment guaranteed to the free speech press. I got the right to freedom of the press. That is how the integrity of the Constitution is upheld, to expose government corruption. Now, the purpose of the speech press clauses has evidently been to protect parties in the free publication of matters of public concern. If the United States Supreme Court is corrupt, it is of public concern that everyone knows, because then the appellate court system no longer works. Stop. Now, we go on to secure their right to a free discussion of public events. That's the Constitution checks and balances. Constitution checks and balances was last used in Watergate. And of public measures, because government powers are limited. They have exceeded and broken every limit, demand, violating prohibitions, and even the FBI have not done their job. As I said, not once, but twice, because before that, FBI James Comey and United States Attorney General petitioned to clean up corruption in the United States Supreme Court. Once again, you can see me on YouTube, and I present this. Now, the last is the legislative, the members of Congress, the Senate and the House. We got the Senate and the House. Once again, notice, members of Congress, the checks and balances require the judicial branch to be checked for corruption. When you have evidence, never before in America, in the history of America, but I got it, Jesha Miller, corruption in the United States Supreme Court. abuse of power in the United States Supreme Court. Once again, the motive, money and power. So, Hillary Clinton, if you got our back, give me that platform to clean up the government with the Constitution's checks and balances. The Constitution's checks and balances. When you violate the due process, the 14th Amendment was made for black people to have the right to due process. Your promise has been nothing more than words, because when you got the evidence as I have presented, go to Josh Miller indicts Judge Richard Young.blogspot.com. You go to that, and you can Google my name and go to that, and there is the evidence of corruption in the United States Supreme Court. Abuse of power is a power-denied government. The habeas corpus is made for we the people. That's right, we the people. Because before we sign or ratify the Constitution, we have a way to secure our freedom, the habeas corpus. That's how it's done with the habeas corpus. You file that, the judges got to go there, check the evidence. If as alleged as you said, then they must immediately release you from the unconstitutional restraint. Now here, once again, we're going to see this. So Hillary, you take action. We're going to show this to where that's received. They stamp. United States Supreme Court. Writ of certiorari. United States Supreme Court. And of course, that's got to be me, Jesha Miller. Entitled to injunctive relief for my immediate release from illegal imprisonment. Check this out. With reparations from judgment of the proceedings in the Indiana Vandenberg Circuit County Court that was so lawless that imprisonment pursuant to them is void, and therefore res judicata is inapplicable in a habeas corpus proceeding. The imprisonment cannot be shown to conform with the fundamental requirements of due process. The 14th Amendment, what I was telling you about. 14th Amendment. Therefore, the petitioner is entitled to his immediate release. Now, United States Supreme Court, as you will see, received this. Failed to release me. That is an act against the law by the United States Supreme Court. That is a habeas corpus, a power-denied government. So that is abuse of power in the United States Supreme Court. So they must be checked using the Constitution checks and balances for corruption. But it's right there. Now, it could have been a mistake. So, if they made that same mistake twice, it was not a mistake, it was intentionally to deny the right to freedom and impose slavery. Everybody wake up, everybody wake up. Slavery. So here it is, once again, sent to the United States Supreme Court. Received, as you can see, received. And they continue the imposed slavery. Motive always, money and power, as I said. Wherefore, the petitioner prays to Yahweh that the honorable court immediately grant stay and order my immediate release that I'm entitled to pursuant to the writ of habeas corpus. And also, the court will award the petitioner Jesha Miller the total of $10 million upon my release and an additional $40 million for punitive damages. That is because this is done by the officials, the very ones who are to protect our rights to freedom and justice in America. So Hillary Clinton, you done made a promise that if you got elected, you was do it. But if you do it right now, then we know you gonna do it. So come on with that. Call a press conference for Jesha Miller and allow me to use the Constitution checks and balances, because the checks and balances is what cleans up America. The checks and balances holds officials accountable, restores the integrity of the Constitution, because it's been corrupted as a point right now. Now, Donald Trump, my man, Mr. Moneybags, you got that same opportunity. Oh, you going downhill right about now. You need some uplifting. Okay, I know if you can't do that in the bedroom, you need to go get some Viagra to get upliftment. So, we're going to skip that part about Viagra. So you need to do something. You need to show that you're going to uphold the integrity of the Constitution, because how you came out like, forget about the Constitution, we're doing it the Trump way. The Constitution is the mainstay. The Charters of Freedom, or the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence, all of which you act like I'm going to override. And to show you how devastating your moves is, you picked a candidate, Mike Pence, who's the governor of state of Indiana, who's a part of this imposed slavery, because he was petitioned to do this same thing, make it known to the public of government corruption in the United States Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, of which State of Indiana Executive Department, Indianapolis proclamation is to inform the public of this corruption, because as I already stated, this started right here in Evansville, Indiana. This is the state of Indiana of which Mike Pence is the governor, but Mike Pence already knew this. So it went to him once and he wouldn't do it. So it went to him twice. And as we said once, shame on me. Twice, shame on you. Okay, so when we do it like that, we know it's intentional. We know it's intentional because Senator Vanita Becker was to send in a state resolution on this. And you know what she did? She made an error, sent in fraudulent information, saying that whereas the current United States Code does not prescribe or guarantee any particular composition for grand or petty juries based on defendant's race or color. So that's total disrespect for the black race, because we are entitled to a jury of our peers. There's a constitutional law, United States Code, number 250.2 with 4 in parentheses, which provides that under the Constitution of the United States, by the 14th Amendment, there shall be no exclusion of our race. And as I showed before, Judge David Colley excluded members of my race, overruled the state and the federal Constitution. So, as I've already pointed out, FBI, former director, he didn't do his job. FBI, I think that is Mr. James Comey. Oh yeah, and as I said, clean up corruption in the United States Supreme Court. I have just presented evidence that all three branches of the government are corrupt. So what happens? checks and balances. What happens? Because in the checks and balances, one branch checks the other branch checks the other branch, and the other branch checks the other branch. And if one branch overrides, is abusing its power, becomes too powerful for the others, then the other branch checks on the other branch. Now, how about this? What happens when all three of them is corrupt? All three of them is corrupt, y'all. Everybody in America pay attention, because you need to know this. Once again, the reason you don't know this is the First Amendment to the right to freedom of the press, which we the people are entitled to. As I read, it said enables every citizen. So why is it that Jesha Miller has evidence of corruption in the United States Supreme Court, but not ABC, CNN, Fox? Nobody covered this. So Hillary, now it's your chance. You proving you're going to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the Code of Ethics, put loyalty to the highest moral principles and the country above loyalty to government, persons, party, or department. Okay, your party, President Barack Obama, failed to do his job, his number one duty. When you go to that, what I told you to, he takes an oath twice. Cannot say the words, so it wasn't going to come out right anyway, because he had no intentions of upholding the Constitution of the United States. He was that puppet, see my fingers, on the string. Okay? Uphold the Constitution, laws, and legal regulations of the United States and of all governments therein, and never be a party to their evasion. I have petitioned the Constitution's checks and balances to uphold the integrity of the Constitution of the United States. I served in the United States Air Force 1974 to 1977 to protect the right to freedom of all Americans, and now I have petitioned the Constitution's checks and balances to uphold the integrity of the Constitution. Now, you want to be president? Hillary Clinton, you called out. Uphold the Constitution right now before you become president, then the people know that you're going to do what you said when you get in office. And Donald Trump, you got the same opportunity. Y'all all called out. And don't forget this. LeBron James, the message to LeBron James. Once again, you can see me on YouTube. Go to it. The checks and balances, as I said before, can stop all the shooting. And once again, when I didn't already, I hit y'all on Facebook, I didn't hit y'all Twitter. Y'all holler at a brother. You needed on SPs that you was going to do this. Well, I got the answer to the solution, and I ain't heard none of y'all go public on this. So once again, Hillary, y'all called out. Go public on this. Because just yesterday, Milwaukee's on fire, baby. Police shooting and killing once again. We're not saying who's at fault. We're going to say how to hold them accountable by the Constitution checks and balances. How to do this without bloodshed. You said enough is enough. Well, it's enough corruption in America, so all Americans stand up. I'll tell you, this is the answer. The Creator has sent me to do this. In the next episode, I will tell you the meaning of Jesha. This is the prophecy. It's time for the truth to be told. Thank you very much.